Good morning, fellow Blues. How are you doing today? Welcome back to another video. It's Sunday the 19th of January. Manchester City head to Portman Road to take on Ipswich Town in what should be a very, very interesting game of football. It is Portman Road, isn't it? I just went with that, presuming I knew off the top of my head. Why do I doubt myself? This is the problem with the internet. Like, if you make a mistake, everyone pulls you up on it. So I doubt myself all the time. It is Portman Road, yeah. We play Liam DELAP's Liam DELAP's Ipswich at Portman Road. A relegation threatened Ipswich Town, of course. But given Manchester City's current malaise, well, we're doing okay at this second. But largely, it feels like, you know, this game could be a bit of a challenge for us. No game feels like a given these days, but that is the nature of Manchester City Football Club and where we're at. Of course, we're in this massive rebuild. I thought by now Kusadov might have been announced, but it looks like it's going to be tomorrow. Vitor Hayes, no idea what's going there. Marmouche, of course, is set to join. There are rumours as well that there could be another 2 or 3 signings after that, with Cambiasso linked to maybe a midfielder as well. Echeverry, of course, to join. It's all very exciting, but that's all getting in the way of the actual real stuff that matters. Football. Actual games of football. We're all caught up in the transfer maelstrom. It's absolutely going crazy around us. But we want to see Manchester City win on the pitch. And our results recently have been sort of heading in the right direction, even if the Brentford game was frustrating in the manner that we dropped points. We could have won that. But overall, Brentford away, getting a point there isn't actually that bad a result in the end. So let's talk about this game of football, what it means. Now, Guardiola, we'll go to the press conference quotes already, because Guardiola had an awful lot to talk about, especially in the aftermath of Erling Haaland's 9.5-year contract, 115-month contract. He talked an awful lot about that. I'll go over to the quotes from Guardiola. He said, of course he can improve. If he continues with the numbers since he arrived, the records will never be beaten, but depend on the team as well. Exceptional news. When one player decides to sign his contracts, never done before, it's because he wants to show desperately he wants to be here. Exactly. He said, in 10 years, wow, you never know what's going to happen. It's a long time. No one's in a short career. You have to say, okay, stay, see what happens. And he proved he wanted to trust the clubs. We have to create an environment where he's unstoppable, because there he is the best. He's still so young, but I'm pretty sure he'll be mature by playing games, and it's going to happen naturally. Yeah, I like that line about we have to create an environment where he's unstoppable. Essentially, we have to give him chances. We have to feed him and play to his best strengths, because we don't always do that. So this is one of those things where this is where Guardiola is saying, I understand that maybe we haven't been treating him as a team with the exact right service that he needs. Why in the chat? There will be a predicted lineup, towards the end of this video, mate. Good morning to Richie, to Thomas, to Ailing Sum, to Danny, to Rishab, to Philosophy Space, which is Nico, and Neil there as well in the chat. It's good to see you all here. Echeverry does look good, my friend. He looks very good, but obviously a lot to improve and a lot to learn before you reach the standards of Manchester City, but there's no shame in that, because it's the highest level in football. Maybe not right now, but broadly speaking it is. Guardiola was right to say, I don't have the feeling about Haaland that he's a guy with a contract who says, now I have this, I'm going to take a nap. It's not going to happen. He said he loves to play, he's a huge competitor, but at the same time, he has the ability to get away from good moments and bad moments immediately. His mindset is really good to forget what happened and think about the next. Yeah, I agree. Haaland's a born winner, insanely focused. Yeah, he said maybe the weather's better in Manchester than Norway. Yeah, absolutely. Look, he's got a young family now. Has he? I think he's a father now as well. I bet Haaland's a great dad, by the way. I get the feeling he would be. Fab's just tweeted about Man City considering Louise. That's interesting. I'll go and double check that before we go too far. Let's have a look. I can't see that, mate. You've got the wrong person there, mate, because I can't see any Fabrizio Romano tweets there, my friend. So you've got me there, unfortunately. You got me there, pal, but there's no tweets about Fabrizio Romano as far as I can see. I'll scroll back down to the quotes anyway from the press conference from Guardiola. But yeah, like Haaland, absolutely, you know, his commitment to Manchester City Football Club and his desire to stay so long it's impressive. Ornstein has tweeted it. Okay, look, if you got me again, Richard, I'm going to get annoyed here, mate. But I'll double check if Ornstein actually has before I go too far. Ornstein has... Okay, yeah, it says Man City considering whether to add midfielder to January signings. Douglas Luiz amongst options. City would only do loan. Okay, but City would only apparently do a loan for Douglas Luiz. So there we go. Yeah, but he has tweeted that. We will see how it goes. He went on to say as well, Guardiola, about many things. He said, next season I'm still here, I'll do 10 years at Man City, so he has to beat me. I'm sure he will do, Guardiola. Hope, fingers crossed he will do. Guardiola said about City's fitness, he said yesterday was a day off, now we're going to train, and we'll see, because some players finished against Brentford with some problems like every game, and we'll see. So some people got injured, apparently, according to Guardiola. Yeah, well, let's see how it goes. Who knows who's available? Maybe I heard some rumours that Ake might not be available, which would be a crushing blow. And we're especially given 2 centre-backs are about to sign and haven't quite signed yet. That'd be a shame. He also talked about Phil Foden. He said it's not bad what he's doing lately. His mood when he smiles and he arrives and talks and whatever, we have to be calm. And in the first part of the year, was a little bit more concerned. Some niggles, some concerns about his condition, a little bit more down. Still, he's a young player, but already has the experience in many things in many years. And sometimes you need to breathe, to come back. And in this mood that has happened the last 3 weeks, 1 month, his natural talent will do the rest. Essentially, what he's saying, Guardiola here, is that, Phil wasn't really, he wasn't fully there in terms of fitness and maybe in the headspace as well. He sounds like he's saying that he needs to be happy, essentially, and it sounds like he's saying Foden wasn't happy. That's how I'm reading it. It's sort of, there's a slight reference, I would argue, to Phil not feeling confident, and he's right to say, with his natural talent, he'll do the rest if he finds himself in a good headspace. And the Brentford game was good for Phil. I watched it back actually, and he had a really good performance, to be fair. So yeah, fair play. Guardiola also talked about the players. He said when players come to Man City, it's not because I decide. It's the club who brings the players there, being with their mates. With this manager or another one, it's a process for the club. They have to decide if they have to change some players on the manager or whatever, and that's why they decide. And I think in the last 2 months, month and a half, I would not be here, that's for sure. Essentially he's saying, look, it's nothing to do with me if I get sacked or whatever, and ultimately the final decision to bring the players down to the club. But yeah, he's right, absolutely right. And he said with De Bruyne in his prime, Haaland would be better and would finish business in these actions. This is what we need. I'm pretty sure knowing the club it's going to happen sooner or later. Sounds like that's interesting. I'm pretty sure knowing the club it's going to happen sooner or later. That to me sounds like Guardiola saying that. Guardiola saying that he knows that there might be a potential future successor to De Bruyne. Am I reading that wrong? We will see. It sounds like that to me. Yeah. I think we'll look for a potential creator as well. There was other stuff as well about a lot of stuff about Haaland, but I mean you've all read it already. The Oscar Bob stuff was interesting. He said still he has a little doubts because it's been a long time, but as much as he makes training sessions, he will be fine. To me, it sounds like he's still feeling his way back into football, so I don't expect Oscar Bob to be involved just yet. Maybe it's a game too soon. Who knows? He might be on the bench if he's feeling it, but it sounds like Guardiola, what it feels to me like Guardiola's hinting at is that feeling where, when you've had a long time out, you're a little bit hesitant because you don't quite trust your body yet. It sounds like that to me. Because when you've had such a painful injury, it can take a while to get your confidence back, so it could be that. There was more stuff last night, where we go find it. Lots of stuff in between, obviously. So here we go. Guardiola said last season we had the feeling that sooner or later we have to make movements in the market. This is transfer news. He said, so we do it. We're going to try something right now that we've done in the summer. We have to do in the summer. We've advanced a few months for the situation. Essentially, what he's saying there is that we had a feeling we'd have to make some movements eventually, but we're going to try something right now that we have to do in the summer. He's basically saying they're bringing forward plans to sign players to now. I don't think it's over. I don't think it's just these 3 players. Doesn't mean we'll sign more than 3, but I do think City are considering more than 3, which is fascinating. So we would not have done it if the players would be fit, but today we'll still have one or two central defenders and no more. Holding midfield, we struggled. That to me, that last line is proof, in my opinion, that we are going to. We are going to try and sign a midfielder. I think absolutely. So everyone's moaning about why are we not getting a DM. It's very clear the club are thinking about it. 100% clear that we're thinking about it. Anyone with any sense can watch Manchester City and know we're struggling there. And I know we shouldn't have got there in the first place, but it's irrelevant now because it's happened. What's happened has happened. I do believe that we're going to. I don't really agree with the Oscar Bob conclusion in the chat there. I actually think Guardiola was billion% planning to use Oscar Bob a lot more. I think he very obviously trusts Oscar Bob more than McAtee. I think that's maybe unfair, but Oscar Bob was going to play a lot. I've seen the tweet, Iano. I chatted about it already. I'll go back to the Douglas Luiz thing in a minute. I mean, there's not much there other than that City are considering. Ornstein tweeted that City are considering a midfielder, and Douglas Luiz might be an option. I think he will be, actually. I think we'll get Douglas Luiz probably. Maybe not. It depends on Cambiasso, isn't it? Guardiola said the situation is we have to do it because we should sooner or later. 8 years together, many players over 30 years old, and especially the amount of problems you have in player availability. This is simply the reason. So I think Guardiola's already come out and admitted as well that, he made a mistake in essentially trusting the squad. It's one of those things where he did say Cambiasso unlikely this month. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see on that. Probably not, no. That would be interesting. It'd be a shame, actually. I'd love Cambiasso. He looks really, really good. Maybe he's a summer one but for now I'm not going to complain because City are obviously moving quite aggressively and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Guardiola's obviously, it feels like the pennies sort of dropped a little bit there. They know what they're doing. When players are fit, we're not going to the market. Absolutely not. Only at the end of the season, maybe. He said, always we believe that with more experience, you're better. But I saw players at 18, 19, 20 being unbelievable. It looks like they play 1,600 games. There are also players at 29 who still don't understand anything. So it depends on everyone. There are players who settle immediately and need more time. Now, everyone will go, he's on about Grealish there. I don't think he is. I don't think he's making a subtle dig at Grealish there. I know Grealish is 29. But then Akanji is 29. And he loves Akanji. I don't think he's having a dig at anyone. Guardiola is not going to come out and call any of his players stupid, especially if they're not really. He's nothing to gain from that. It's just a number he's pulled out. So I don't think I don't read into that too much. So yeah, essentially Guardiola, he seemed positive apparently. Positive in the press conference. He said, I'm fine. I've been fine, and I am fine. And I guess that's reference to all his personal stuff going on. He's all right, our manager, and he looked happy apparently during the press conference. Maybe because it's all over. He talked about De Bruyne's fitness. He said, absolutely, he knows, he feels. He's talked to physios. I feel better. I've been struggling for a lot for 5 years, made an effort playing with no stops. There is no player that age or younger that can play completely without niggles. But there are problems that are more difficult to handle than others, and Kevin struggled a lot with those problems. He's made incredible work. I saw him working as an animal to come back and be the best. He has a special quality that we know is unique. Guardiola sort of hinting there. I would argue... transfer news being slow. Are you being serious, mate? I think some of you guys, by the way, and I mean this with much love, are too online. If you think the transfer news has been slow from Man City, are you paying attention? We're just about to sign 3 players in 19 days. That is an absurd amount of news. I tell you what, someone who makes videos about transfer news, it hasn't been slow. It's been crazy. It's the opposite. I think you're too online there, mate. And I mean that as someone who's also too online. It's been the opposite of slow. There's been a deluge of information. One day yesterday, nothing happening. It's Saturday. They have days off, guys. You got to remember that, No, big love to you, mate, in the chat. It's just, trust me. I think we're thinking about it too much. Nothing's going to happen on a Saturday. They still have days off, and it's a match day in the weekend and stuff like that. But the news coming out, I guarantee, roll around Monday morning, Tuesday morning, all the news will be coming back out. Even now, today, Ornstein's tweeting stuff as well about transfer news. So, It's just the weekend. And I would guess the media team are just sorting Vitor Hayes, Marmoush, and Kusanov out. And they'll be announced in the next day or two. And then the next barrage of rumours will kick on. But I like these quotes anyway about De Bruyne. It sounds to me... I'm not digging you out there, by the way, mate, actually, in the chat. I'm just saying. I feel how busy it's been. It's been crazy busy. I think we've been a bit... blessed with transfer rumours, so we're desperate for it. Guardiola said that, I like how he's talking about De Bruyne's fitness. Apparently, it seems like he's saying that he's feeling a bit better, which is good, So, lots of talk. Lots of talk going on, and I can't be bothered talking about it too much, but we'll see how we get on with the transfers. We'll see how the team's feeling. Good news about Haaland. Let's go to Ipswich. Ipswich, of course, currently sat, where are they sat? 18th in the Premier League table. I'll go to the table, where is it? Here's Ipswich right now, down here in the relegation zone. I think it's on goal difference. It is on goal difference, with Wolves also struggling. Ipswich have been the best of the three promoted teams. Southampton are just done already. Jesus. If I was Southampton, I don't think I'd even bother playing any more games. Look how done they are. 6 points. Poor Southampton. I had Man United fans like in my mentions on Twitter going, yeah, are you laughing at us now? You beat Southampton with a last minute bunch of goals. Southampton. Yeah, it's Southampton. They're the worst team I've seen ever in the Premier League, probably. Terrible. Ipswich. On to Ipswich. Look, they were actually on a slightly decent run of form before this game. They lost against Brighton 2-0. Before that, though, they beat Bristol. They drew against Fulham away. They beat Chelsea. So they'd had 3 games sort of unbeaten. A couple of victories there. Beating Chelsea was obviously massive for them. Liam Delap and Amari Hutchinson scoring for them. Chelsea wasteful in front of goal, but you can only beat what's in front of you. The Brighton game was obviously a bit of blow for them. But Brighton obviously a much better team than Ipswich. But of course, we know a little bit about Ipswich because they've got Liam Delap. Now, Liam Delap is a guy that I've said on billions of videos. He's going to be a top-level striker. He's going to score loads of goals. He's going to play for England. I've said that 1,000 times. And I've always called it, and I always knew it was going to happen, even if it took a little bit of time. So, Liam Delap, a cracking striker, aggressive, assertive, physical, fast, strong, bullish. A brilliant player who will go very, 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 very far in football. We'll probably get a big move in the summer to a big team. I don't think City will go for him because I don't think he'll come back to Manchester City. I think it's irrelevant if we got a buyback clause or not. I think he would go, yeah, but you're not going to play me because you signed Marmoush and you've got Erling Haaland. And he'd be right. He'd be absolutely right. Liam Delap will go somewhere where he'll be a starter. And Erling Haaland's just signed a 9.5-year contract, and Omar Mamouche has just signed a 5.5-year contract. So it feels silly. If I was Liam Delap, I would go nowhere near Manchester City. I just wouldn't, because you're clearly a backup striker. The only way you're going to get substantial minutes is if Erling Haaland gets injured, and that's a matter of fact. You don't come back to sit on the bench for a manager who already sold you in the first place, in my personal opinion. Delap is a cracking player, and I wish him all the best, but he'll end up at... you can't just I think you can't just activate and bring him back. He has to say yes. That's how it works, mate. The player has to say yes to it too. And Guardiola's not going to go 4-4-2. He's never going to play 2 midfielders because that's not how Guardiola works. The closest will be maybe Marmouche slightly off him, but you don't have 2 big physical strikers anyway. You need a smart, creative one. That's always been the way. You always have a sort of more creative one, you know. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is how they line up the other day. I mean, I suspect it'll be something like this. Are they missing any players? Let me have a quick look. Let me check the team news for them. Calvin Phillips can't play. Of course, he's been a starter for them. I think Sam Morsey will come back into the team alongside Kajust. You haven't got Connor Chaplin, Ogbene, Tunzebi, Sammy Simonics as well is a big blow for them. Simonics scored against us, didn't he, last time? We won 4-1, didn't we? Yeah, Haaland got a hat-trick and we won 4-1. Simonics scored that game for them, but he's not available. Amari Hutchinson's available, though. He's one of their better players. Yeah, look, we know how they play. They're assertive, they're physical, they're aggressive. It's one of those things where I feel... City will have to just be aware of the aggression of Liam Delap, essentially. They're going to sign hitters on the counter. They're going to be really aggressive. We have to take them seriously because they're a team fighting for their lives. And Manchester City right now, we're not in our best form, you know. There are signs of vulnerability. And Liam Delap, he'll love and relish the battle with, you know, Akanji and Ake or whoever. He'll be all over it, you know, so... You're right down there. I can hear Ruben shouting away. So Ruben's shouting away. I think Nicola's in the shower. Ruben's in the cot, bless him. But anyway, let me just quickly do the video. Okay, here's Ruben in the monitor. It's one of those things where, you know, Haaland... this is how we lined up last time. So against Brentford, we had Ortega, Nunes, Vardial, Ake, Akanji... Okay, here's Ruben shouting, he's so distracted. Kovacic, Bernardo, Foden, De Bruyne, Savinho and Haaland. I don't know if there's anyone unavailable. As far as we know, everyone's available. But Rodri, Oscar Bob, Diaz, Stones. I don't think Oscar Bob will play this game personally. I have a feeling he's not going to. Ruben is the true star, so always. I don't think Oscar Bob will play this game. Kyle Walker's not going to be involved either. I think he might be on the bench, Oscar Bob, with an outside chance, but I would say it's 70-30 unlikely that Oscar Bob is involved, full stop. I feel like he's not quite there yet. For me, someone asked about Ederson. What the hell happened to him? Mate, I feel Ederson is just out of the team because he doesn't want to be here anymore. I think Guardiola sensed a sort of disconnect and a lack of focus, and I think Ortega's there. Maybe Rico Lewis will come in the team. Matt Wolfenden, maybe. I think Nunes might get another start. I think Nunes had a decent enough game. Look, for a guy who's not a right back, I think he's done fine in that role. Obviously, the big mistake against United, a couple of small mistakes, sloppy free kick, and obviously the missed chance. But they weren't really crucial mistakes, so maybe he'll play again. I think, look, let's try and build the team. We don't know if Ake is available. Guardiola hasn't mentioned it, so all we can do is presume he is available. If Ake is available, it'll be Ortega. I think he'll start. So I'm going to put Josko at left back again. I'm going to put Ake, Akanji. Diaz is not available. I'm going to put Nunes back there again. I'm going to put Kovacic again. Silva again. Savinho. Foden. KDB and Haaland. It's going to be the same again, I reckon. Foden will be out here. Haaland will be there. He'll be here. He'll be there. They'll be there. They'll be there. Here for that. The only potential changes I can maybe see are, we could see if Ake's not available, it might be Rico's at left back and Josko's at centre back. We might have no choice but to do that. Simpson Pusey could play as well. Kusanov's not even announced yet, mate. So they're going to be. I don't think he would have been registered because he was only flying to do his medical on Friday, and you have to register by like midday on Friday to be available. So he's not going to be available, unfortunately. So Kusanov won't be available for this. I think if Ake's not available, it'll be Josko at centre back and Rico Lewis at left back. There's a chance, that we see Gundogan come back in. You might not like it, but there's a decent chance there. I would argue as well that there's a chance that Doku might play this game. You look who didn't play the other day. McAtee was on the bench. Jack Grealish, Nico O'Reilly, Simpson Pusey. Ilkay Gundogan. McAtee is getting a few minutes at the moment, but I think away he's going to go for the physicality of the current squad. Jack Grealish could play in this game. That's a sort of outside bet here. Look, I'm not saying Gundogan should start, but I think Guardiola, there's a chance he might swap some people around. I think he would be happy about the Brentford performance, and given that was Tuesday and it's Sunday now, I think it's going to be more or less the same team. I'm going to presume it's going to be the same team right there. I think it's something like that it'll be, with the idea maybe one or two changes. We will see. I'm expecting this to be a fun game. I will be live later on bigup.com for my watch along. Please come and join me over there. I'll show you right now. Where is it? Here we go. I'll be live over there later. Join me at bigup.com. There's a link in the description. 6 hours from now for the watch along. I'm going to go say City will win this. I think we will. I think it'll be a tough game. 3-1 I'm going for. I think they'll score, but I think Haaland will grab a couple, maybe a hat-trick actually again. He'll grab a couple because I think he's going to want to. I feel like De Bruyne is fit. Foden's finding his form a little bit. And as much as we've got our midfield issues, I don't think Ipswich are quite the team that Brentford are to capitalise on it. If we played the same level we did against Ipswich as we did against Brentford, we win because Brentford are a much better side than Ipswich. And I think we went toe for toe against Brentford. And Brentford are one of the best teams in the country at home. That's an actual fact. They've got the second best record in the league, I think. Let me just double check that. There we go. Brentford have got the third best record in the league at home. So we'll join there with Liverpool in terms of points. So yeah, I think it's no shame at all. I'm going to leave the video here, guys. I will see you live for the watch along. For now, big love. Give the video a like. Subscribe if you're new. Watch the video from yesterday about everything you need to know about Kusanov. I'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye.